experienced it a few times where you found the meditation essentially not just enjoyable, but an amazing experience. A love, a sort of devotion towards that, or an art form, or art itself, music. There's pleasure in music. Now I want to essentially dive a little deeper, but the main sum is that once you discover your core self and realize basically what's up, what's going on, you'll have this figured out in no time at all. I want to take this a little further, as in the whole aspect of what actually porn is, because there is a massive misconception on the whole ideal of porn itself. And I mean, what's not necessary in the acts of is pretty obvious. I mean, we're in obscure, unnecessary, and unnatural circumstances. Um, Actual porn is unnecessary violence that is on the graphic side. There are plenty movies um, like that. Now, only in unnatural circumstances would such violence be almost, in a sense, the same reaction as sex, which in scientific studies this has been shown. That's not an irony. There's no irony in that. That's obscure. Purely obscure and chaotic. So, I mean, think about it. In movies, it's weird because in movies, they are so intense on nudity or anything like that. And look at it as almost it's of disgust in a sense. Censorship on mainstream. I understand, children are too young to see and all that, but children are getting more involved with rap. Rap inspires violence and gangs. There are more and more children watching horror movies. Horror movies have they are emptiness. In fact, they're almost more dead than dead value itself. It is essentially destructive. But the whole idea of this avoidance of the beauty of the body and the beauty of how the body can express in even nova forms and in amazing forms, um, just an avoidance that is just weird. Because, okay, you got, I think it's TNT or something like that. This was really weird. Um, you know how they are in censorship, that's for sure. They love, they're bad about their whole cuss word thing. It's pretty funny. Cuss words, again, not recommended, but at times you can understand it's necessary. But of course, in unnecessary circumstances, such words are going to have they're going to have kind of like a payback feeling or essence to them, and it usually happens. I mean, we don't cuss, but there's an interesting definition behind what the words actually mean. They actually mean to name an intense and very graphic realization. Like me, I say fudge. Other people would say other things. But if you ever hear me say fudge, it means that something is just of the utmost intensity of amazing. It's like me saying holy shiz. I say that often, but that's also to say like, oh my gosh, wow. I'm just this is the word I can think of right now. It's such intensity I can't decipher. So it's to say, it's just flippin' amazing. On TNT, happened to be catch 300. Guess what? None of the violence was censored. I think you see my point now. It's it's very obscure to entirely toss out the beauty of the body, which the more avoidance of sexuality there is with the country, the worse the sexual violence is. Self-explanatory. In Japan, good luck trying to find murder and all that other violence It's extremely rare, and their expressions of sexuality is in a way that's has got a purity, but at the same time they go to very extreme levels as well. But still, look at the country. Look how successful they are. I use Japan as an example because self-explanatory. Look at the graduation rate. Look at the rate of creativity. They're putting 300 different anime comic books, known as mangas, out every month. Anime titles. They're a creation factory. And America, their cartoons are copying off the anime styles. America is is probably the most unoriginal country on the planet. Ironically, the persons of America, though, are the ones that are creating a revolution to essentially be a big part of liberating the planet. And it will be the persons of this country, America, that will probably realize the whole avoidance of self and the act of hiding the self more so than any other persons on this planet, other than certain countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, where women literally hide themselves. There's a bit more to cover, but I've covered pretty much the harshest, which was I think you understand it. I understand the need of needing to cover this. Um, in the hybrid existence, what you will realize as sexuality, of course, you're unique as well. Um, It's very difficult to describe this because you have to realize it for yourself. But life is bliss. Life is to be enjoyed. And I'm not saying just, go at it or whatever. I'm saying that when you understand that function of the body, when you understand its workings and what it essentially means, because sexuality is still ultimately undefined. You'll understand. I'll let that be self-explanatory. You'll realize it in your own way. Um, let's see. As far as guys liking guys, a a really big flag on that one. When you realize who you are, you're going to realize that what you were in the act of with was essentially what is called and what is realized as perversion, because it's quite obvious that women are obviously and naturally the most attractive and are the most natural examples and the most beautiful examples of beauty, almost in itself at times. When you see a goddess, those who might be listening that like guys or bi-curious or whatever, you're really going to sit there and be like, wow, I don't feel right. I don't feel right with myself. You know, that's essentially what's going to be the first step. And then if you are one of those guys, you're going to look back on everything and be like, the best thing that you can really think of and to just move on, it was unnatural circumstances, and I truly just didn't know what I was doing. Everyone still knew to so much. The more experienced you are in life, the more experienced you are in understanding and discernment. It is that simplistic. Essentially, a function of the body. If avoidant, if questioned, if even looked upon as a form of disgust, the overall being's affected. Now, to reproduce, what do you have to do? If there was no feeling in that at all, what would be the encouragement of reproducing? What would be the encouragement of loving your lover? Plus, life is to be enjoyed, and I don't want this to sound like I'm focusing now all around sexuality.